here with Mike Reinenger from the Florida East Coast Railway, which is building the All Aboard Florida project. We're all excited to be riding that train soon. It's a privately led project, state-of-the-art brand new trains, new stations. So Mr. Reinenger, please tell us a little more about your testimony here today and your project timeline.
Well, thank you. Today was a terrific opportunity for us to share our views from a private industry and private sector perspective on the role that intercity express passenger service really plays in the overall infrastructure improvement program. Our point is that there are certainly market opportunities that exist in the country where the deployment of for-profit private sector capital can lift portions of that overall challenge and result in increased and new capacity into the overall transportation networks that we need for the country to continue to prosper.
And you and your company got onto the idea really early on about transit-oriented development, and did that sort of make the deal, kind of finalize the deal, made it financially doable?
Yeah, the central idea to our business thesis is that there's two standalone businesses. Each of those two businesses happen to make the other business stronger, and there are a significant amount of efficiencies that come from integrating the real estate development and density that's benefited by transit at locations where the transit is benefited by the increased density. And so what that gives us is a platform that has one centralized business that has more than one way to pay its bills.
And your company has a great history with it. That's how Florida was literally developed, was from your company doing TOD and rail.
We're benefited by a tremendous legacy, right? The company that we operate today really is an outgrowth of a company from over 120 years ago that happened to be both in the railroad and real estate development business, and we're once again in that same sort of platform.
And now you get to revive the whole thing again, like a new life to it.
It's a tremendous opportunity and a sort of a very symmetrical sort of historical story. But central to the whole thing is the breaking of inertia, right? There's been conversations around things like what we're doing for decades, and we've finally broken the inertia and found a way to make one of these things move from conversation into an actual operating project. And in just a few days, we'll be welcoming customers in our new stations on our new trains.
We're very excited about that because we feel that that's important. That will unleash other projects and help America move into rail much more quickly. So thank you for your leadership.
You bet. Thank you very much. Chairman Denham, Ranking Member Capuano, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for the invitation to participate in this hearing and to share a private industry perspective on the opportunity to introduce intercity passenger rail as a new transportation solution needed in many cities across the country. My name is Mike Reinenger, and I'm the Executive Director of Florida East Coast Industries. We are an infrastructure and real estate development company based in Miami, where we are represented by your committee colleague and our distinguished Congresswoman, Frederica Wilson. Further along our corridor, we are also represented by distinguished members Dan Webster, Lois Frankel, and Brian Mast. FECI is the parent company of All Aboard Florida, which was established in 2012 to pursue passenger rail opportunities on a private for-profit basis. FECI traces its roots to the late 1890s and the company founded by Henry Flagler, who first introduced the integrated rail network, which gave rise to Florida's rapid growth. After some 120 years of continuous operations, that railroad remains a profitable private enterprise. Leveraging this legacy and historic assets, we have invested about $2 billion of private capital over the last 5 years, and in about 90 days, we will launch Brightline. This new express intercity passenger train will service the downtown cores in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach as the first phase of a vision to fully connect the Southeast and Central Florida markets. Today, 400 million trips are taken annually in this market, relying on roads and airways that are among the most congested in the nation. These trips, which we see as too long to drive and too short to fly, represent the opportunity for the next generation of American train travel. Brightline will carry our customers in a new fleet of innovative 100% Buy America trains to 3 new stations across 70 miles of modernized railroad that includes PTC. In addition, we are building over 1.5 million square feet of mixed-use development in and around our transit hubs, and these facilities will begin welcoming new occupants concurrent with the start of Brightline trains. Our business thesis is quite simple. We believe that markets comprised of city pairs that are 250 to 350 miles apart present opportunities for trains to provide a more efficient, comfortable, and reliable alternative to cars and planes. The addition of integrated real estate development aligns two economic engines that directly support one another and creates a unified business platform that has more than one way to pay the bills. Our experiences have sharpened our perspective on several key factors where enhanced interaction between government and industry will contribute to faster results, encourage private capital investment earmarked for infrastructure, and contribute new capacity into our transportation networks. Broadly speaking, the most notable areas for improvement that will help pioneering efforts such as ours are a streamlining of complicated regulatory processes and enhancements to the debt markets that must accompany equity investments to produce new projects. The NEPA process remains a disincentive to the private sector. And while there is ample equity, such as ours, ready to invest in transportation, the lack of precedent for new systems, coupled with uncertain permitting, have limited the availability of the appropriate debt needed to complete the capital equation. Both issues can benefit from retooling of already existing structures. Our own experiences with expanding our business into its second phase, an incremental investment of $2 billion, clearly demonstrates these points. Our project underwent a comprehensive 2.5-year-long NEPA study, resulting in the publishing of a final EIS. Yet 4.5 years after it began, the process has still not resulted in the outcomes that will facilitate needed permits. Rationalization of this reality will save enormous time and money and produce much better results. Programs such as private activity bonds, RIF, or TIFIA loans are underutilized for greenfield developments as they suffer from opaque and complex rules that discourage their use. Yet we are encouraged that these existing programs could be easily revised to remove ambiguity and provide exactly the kind of efficient debt needed to incent investment and create progress. As the demand for services such as Brightline continue to emerge, the opportunity to catalyze the direction of private capital against the infrastructure challenge can be effected through needed reforms that will align the interests and strengths of government and industry toward common goals. As we work toward the launch of our business and the expansion of our system, we welcome the opportunity to contribute to enhanced solutions to these issues. Thank you for the opportunity to share these thoughts with you today, and I'll welcome questions.